Well, good evening, John.
Good evening, Ben.
And good evening, Adam.
Well.
Well, indeed. How are we both this evening?
Good, thank you.
I was better before we met.
You're just such a grumpy bastard, aren't you, John?
Yeah. Well, it's people. I just don't like people. Like, people have maybe cottoned on to that by now, that I really don't like people. And sometimes, I was in quite a good mood, and then you two started talking to me, and it just went away.
Oh, John. John, don't be like that.
It's not a question of being like that. It's the ambience. It's the banter. It's the way that things are supposed to happen, and then they don't. And it just upsets me. I don't like it when things go awry. I like us to work like a well-oiled machine. And unfortunately, I'm not well-oiled enough to work like a machine.
So what you're saying is you need us to lube you up?
I need more drink.
John, with that, introduce the show whilst I queue up the Christmas placeholder.
Good evening and welcome to this, an episode of Friday Night Live with Jason Dissent. It's all in.
They just heard jingle bells. Dum, 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 dum. Well, good evening. So there's a lot to talk about, isn't there? And I'm gonna hit you guys with something. Actually,
hit me, baby.
So we found an article in the news today, right? We found an article in the news today about somebody we actually know. Okay, who's been jailed for 6 years for child neglect. Now, we didn't know any of this, because we haven't seen her in ages. Obviously, because of all the lockdowns and stuff, and one of the people that didn't want to know us when we had our stance against it all. In fact, my daughter used to be my daughter's dance teacher. Anyway, this woman, and it's public, her face is public, her name is Gemma Brogan, right? Her and her partner, it transpires, we're having a domestic, and the police came and knocked down the door and found 35 dogs in one room. One of those dogs dead, their small child sleeping on the couch inside that room with their dogs. There's 7 children in total. The house was covered in shit. Apparently it smelled so bad that the police officers couldn't breathe. They had to immediately, and this was near midnight, and they had to immediately remove the children from the home. They had to get children's services in and place them. Children were aged between 2 and 17, I believe. And they were subsequently prosecuted, but it's only come to now, and this happened June of 2021. And they've only been sentenced this week. And they were sentenced for 6 years, or 6 years in prison each, and 18 weeks each suspended for the neglect of the animals as well. And it's just like, you think you know a person, and then, wow.
Gee, thanks for opening with such a fucking cheery topic.
Well, I'm just saying, you think you know people, but you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, do you?
Indeed, you don't.
And it just shocked us. It really did. It shocked us that somebody we know, in fact, we sold rabbits to at one point. And like I say, was my daughter's dance teacher and had
those rabbits are probably in the dogs now. I
would imagine so. Yeah, but. It's just so it's horrible, and I just thought I'd chuck that at you and tell you that's what we've been trying to work out this evening anyway.
Well, good job we had that Christmas opening scene, Ben.
He's got a fucking cheek saying I'm grumpy, hasn't he?
Yeah,
After fucking laying that on us.
Oh,
yeah, okay, well,
dear.
thanks for attending this episode of Friday Night, and we were indeed all in. Good night, and have a pleasant Friday, whatever's left of it. Fuck me.
So, John,
Ben.
what's been going on in your world then?
Well, there's lots of things going on in the world that kind of pissing me off.
Okay.
People are pissing me off, for starters.
Yeah, that's nothing new.
Especially the way the people are crowing about how Alex Jones is financially ruined and he deserves to be so for saying words, right? Because let's face it, that's all he ever did. And let's face it, when you look at that place, that school, there are so many questions that still come out of it that have not been answered, right? I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist if you like, but it's not cut and dried the way that went down.
No, well, it's not something I've ever fully looked into, but you
should have a look at it, because there are well, I tell you what, there's a lack of evidence for certain things. Like there's a lack of evidence that the school was trading, right? As a school, because it wasn't spending any money on anything. That's the problem. So, there's a whole load of things around it, and some of the video from the thing, you can quite clearly see people walking in circles. They walk in the back door off a building, and they obviously walk through the building, come out the front door, the firehouse I think it is, and then just keep walking in circles. And you can identify them by their different clothing, because it's a pretty high-res video, so you can point out there's a guy in the red jacket, there's a woman in the yellow jacket, and they do it 4, 5, 6 times, So there's a lot of things that maybe don't gel, right?
Right.
But regardless of that, why can't he say what he thinks?
Well,
yeah, okay, people might get upset, but you know what? There's so much fucking happens in the world right now that makes people upset. That people say to you, and those people include your government,
yep,
your councillors,
yep,
your local politicians,
yep,
your doctors, your nurses,
yep.
So are they all your teachers, your neighbours, so the police, journalists, the BBC, all the mainstream media. So are all those people not allowed to say things just in case, on the off chance they make you fucking upset? Is that the case?
Well,
because if that's the case, let's fucking stop talking to each other. Let's just build fucking massive Japanese style pods, and we'll all sit in our own pod, consume TV all day, do fuck all, and the human race just becomes a battery farm a la the Matrix.
Well, that is kind of what certain people want for us, isn't it? But you
think, right? So the thing you're going to say is there's a line, right? And there's not.
I'm not going to say that.
Well, maybe you're not, but a lot of people say there's a line. Well, no, there isn't a fucking line. There's either free speech or there isn't free speech, and that's it.
Yeah, no, do you know what? I absolutely do agree with you. Obviously, you shouldn't be calling people to action, to violence, to committing, criminal actions that are of physical detriment to others. But
that's not necessarily free speech as such.
No,
that's not you saying what your opinion is. You should be entitled to give your opinion to anyone.
Absolutely,
right?
You should. You're not wrong.
And you shouldn't. I'm not saying you should be entitled to order people around. You shouldn't be entitled to make people do something by the power of your speech or whatever. We're not all fucking Jedi masters or the voice.
But you are not. But you are not wrong. You are not wrong.
Yeah, but you should be able to speak your opinion freely and without favour.
Unfortunately, what happened to Alex Jones, right, is it's complex and it's complicated, because you could argue, and he has argued several times, that this is a First Amendment issue. And absolutely, I would agree that it's a First Amendment issue. The issue we have here is that the proceedings against him were civil. And that's a problem, because obviously when it comes to things like the First Amendment, civil proceedings don't apply here.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right, and I agree with you 100%. And the question is, should civil law be allowed to do what it's just done to Alex Jones?
I don't think so. No,
I don't think so
do you know what? I don't agree with much of what Alex Jones says. Right? I don't
agree with hardly anything of what he says.
I don't agree with hardly anything of what most people with any kind of media prominence on any side of things say, right? I form my own opinions on each and individual situation as that situation approaches me, or I approach that situation, and I tend not to get my opinions off others. But I do not agree that you should be able to be financially ruined, imprisoned like you would be in our country for saying certain things. For making a bloody statement or giving an opinion. So, like whoever 11 says in the chat here, they've been going after Richard D. Hall lately.
Yeah, they have.
You say they, specifically Mariana Spring of the BBC has been going after Richard D. Hall.
Biggest disinformation experts out there.
Well, yeah, Mariana Spring specifically, and I'm happy to say, on the record, on a live stream, on any kind of platform, that Mariana Spring is a liar. Okay? Yeah. Mariana Spring has lied on air several times.
You have seen her and caught her out doing the very thing.
I've been there when she's been doing it.
That's what I mean. Right? You've seen her and caught her out doing it. Yeah.
Oh, there's just a couple of hundred people here when there's 500,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, but it's just a couple of hundred conspiracy theorists. And then when they're called out for it, her and her producer, Mike Wendling, will be like, oh, there were just a few hundred.
Hold the fucking presses.
What's that?
I've just found Trump's profile on the map.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how Biden's in Idaho.
Oh, my God. What have you got?
Right, fucking pull up the... Well, do you want me to share the map? Oh, I can't. I'm not on it. But pull up the map, right?
Send it to Adam.
Wisconsin has Trump's profile looking at Minnesota.
I'll have a look. Let me find it.
Let Adam find it because he can bring it up.
Fucking hold the front page. It's Biden and Trump. It's been there all the time. This was implanted when these states were constitutionalized. This is it's a massive conspiracy.
Everything's a conspiracy, John. Everything.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that's not Trump's profile in Wisconsin looking into Minnesota.
Right, I've got the Wisconsin election result map here.
That's not what we want. We
want... No, you need a proper map. Right, hold on, I'll send you here.
Okay, yep.
Send it on over. Send it on over.
I'll just send it in the chat here, right?
Yep. Okay.
Right, here we go.
Well,
it's just coming into YouTube, right?
Okay.
Whilst you guys are doing that, talking about, punishment and free speech, somebody that you, John, have been just starting to sort of get into, one of your fellow countrymen, in fact, Count Dankula, Mark Meakin.
Yes, Count Dankula.
He was prosecuted. He has a criminal record in your country because he made a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Aye.
And that criminal record is with him for life because he made a joke.
Because he made a joke, yeah.
And do you know what's even worse about what happened to him?
Twitter Adam.
I'll tell you what's even worse about what happened to him is that there was no complainant. There was no complainant. So nobody called the police. So what happened was the police got a hold of the video, yeah? The police saw the video.
This is very like what happened to the two cops that were involved in the Wayne Cousins thing. Yeah,
it's very much like, because then they called up some Jewish societies and went, "Does this offend you?" They actually got people in to say, "Does this offend you?" So that they could get a conviction against the guy.
You can't do that. That's fucking. That's
oh
against
my
the law.
God! I see it.
Yeah, I told you! I fucking told you! It's a conspiracy, isn't it?
I see it!
That's Trump! That's Trump!
There it is! Look, there it is! If we go front.
It definitely is.
So, that's Trump, and over in Idaho is Biden.
Like you said, that this battle was conceived when the United States itself was conceived. But no, to answer your question in the chat, Shalini, I am not joking. There was no complainant against Count Dankula. They went and they found Jewish societies to be offended by it so that they could secure a conviction. And then, when it got to court, they disregarded the fact that it was a joke, told him, the sheriff, because it was a sheriff trial, there was no jury, right?
Yeah.
And the sheriff told him that the sheriff decides what's in Mark's mind. The sheriff decides what Mark is thinking. The sheriff decides what Mark's intent was, and that Mark is actually a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, the sheriff's
This
a
is
fucking
how
arsehole.
this is how they secured the
This is
conviction.
how people. This is what starts, right? This is how people start to become disenfranchised with society. This
Absolutely.
is how people start to become disenfranchised with the rule of law. And this is how the breakdown of society starts, because you know what? You watch Joker, the movie, right? That's exactly what happened there.
It's a good film as well.
It's exactly what happened. It's a fucking gradual breakdown of society.
Yeah, it's a case.
Until the next thing, you know what's happening with dogs and cats in the street.
We
don't
do.
you?
We do. Dogs and cats fucking each other in the street.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, they are still counting votes for whoever 11.
Yes, they are.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I mean, we've obviously down to the fucking inbred section, right? And they've got too many fingers on the toes and keep losing count or something.
Well,
right? Because I can't understand how it can possibly take so long to count, you know, even millions of votes. How can it take so long? I mean, most people do it overnight.
Florida did it in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
But that's because Governor Ron actually took control of the election process, right? Actually made sure it was all done above board and made sure everything was done in a calm and orderly fashion. It's with all of this universal mail-in voting and all this bollocks. I mean, I think in Nevada, there's still they've got until sort of, I think, next Tuesday to receive these mail-in ballots, as long as they are post-dated for the 8th.
I've got a special Franken machine here. It's just, the whole thing's just screwed up, isn't it? I mean, it's like, have an election, tell us a result.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, only in America can you still be waiting. What? Well, we're now 3 days later. So it's going to be 4, 5, 6. I mean, it could even be nearly a week later.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
that
right.
page hasn't changed for a day now. The last time it was updated was about this time yesterday.
It's very close, isn't it, in the Senate?
I think the Republicans have won both, which is a fucking fantastic failure, apparently. But I can't see how you grasp a failure out of winning, because it's not like, you know, I mean, this isn't like proportional, and it's not like we've just narrowly won and we can't do anything. It's like we fucking won and we can make any decisions we like, and that's it. It's, you know, black or white. This is binary. You either cross the line or you don't. Yeah.
So as we know, on the 15th, Donald Trump is going to make a massive announcement in Mar-a-Lago.
He's going to make a massive mistake, in my view.
So I think it was Chuck Callesto, I'm not sure.
It was.
Who said that massive announcement may well not be that he's running for president.
Well, it might be that he's not, because I think if he's got any sense, he's realised that. I mean, we covered this 2 days ago. 2 days ago now that we covered this, because they only started talking about it today on MSM. But we covered it a couple of days ago, saying that he wasn't really a credible candidate anymore.
No, but what Chuck believes he might do is run for speaker.
Well, can we go back 6 months?
Yeah.
When we said, wouldn't it be a fucking hoot if the Republicans won the Senate and the House and then installed Trump as a speaker for the next...
We did say that, yeah. We did say that.
We said, wouldn't that be the best troll ever?
Yes. And it would be the best troll ever. It would be
of course it
hilarious.
would.
Because then the squad, as Chuck pointed out, people like AOC and co, come January 20th would have to pledge all of their allegiance to Trump. Right?
Yeah. Pledge allegiance to Orange Man Bad.
They would also he would also have control of all of the House and Senate investigations and their committees.
He'd be third in line for succession.
Yeah, and Kamala and Joe. Joe's
Well, Joe's going to pop off at some point, isn't he?
But it would be very, very funny. It would be very, very funny if he did that and he got elected, because you don't actually have to be a sitting member of the House.
No, you don't. You don't.
In order to become Speaker. So if he did that, if he ran for Speaker.
And then he could be Speaker for the next 120 years, just like Pelosi was.
Yeah, that's, till he's old and decrepit.
That's true.
But what he could do on day one is go, let's investigate Hunter Biden's laptop.
Well, somebody needs to. And it's not Hunter Biden's laptop. It's two laptops Hunter Biden had.
Two laptops, yeah. As Lawrence Fox so badly acted in that movie.
That was terrible.
It's two laptops.
That was a terrible, terrible movie.
Militant
and
Mushroom.
Speaking of movies, what will we be doing over the weekend, Ben?
So, we're going to try something out over on the second channel, aren't we, guys? And if you're not subscribed there, then please go over and subscribe. It's 100, as in the number 100, Acre Swamp. We're going to be filming a big video over the course of the weekend. And we've got some bad movies to watch and review, haven't we, John?
Yes, we do. We have some cracking bad videos to watch and review.
And we're gonna watch some bad movies. You're gonna see our reactions to them as we're watching them, and then we're gonna talk about them. And we are going to not hold back. We are going to rip into these absolute pieces of crap, and it's gonna be for entertainment purposes more than anything, just to make you laugh, just to make you smile. Because remember, the world's not all doom and gloom, and we try not to make everything about being doom and gloom. So, if you're not subscribed over there, then please do go over there, subscribe to that channel, and you will see us over there. And hopefully, you'll see us over there a bit more often as well, as we're thinking about new things to try and bring that back to life.
Yeah, because that channel has now breached 500, and has the community tools. So we're going to start the community pages and posts on that. And what else has breached 500, Ben?
So thank you, one and all, as Chasing Dissent here on YouTube has indeed breached 500 subscribers. It's not a lot, but it is a bloody good start. So thank you, one and all, as John would say, for doing that for us.
Don't take your foot off the gas.
No, don't take your foot off the gas. If you are watching this live or watching this back for the first time and you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, or it's not red anymore, is it?
No, it's black and white.
If you've not clicked that black and white subscribe button, then please
do so.
Do you know what I'm finding hard to understand right now? So I'm watching because I'm watching the YouTube analytics live. Yeah. We've just received 6 likes on the show, yet it says we've got 1 viewer.
Yeah, I see 6 likes. Yeah.
So I'm assuming we've got more than 1 viewer because there's more than one person been talking in the chat. It's very, very, very strange. These analytics are going to give us incorrect data, I think. 7 likes now.
Speaking of incorrect data, Ben, have you seen what's happening in Ukraine at the moment?
Well, what isn't happening over there?
Talk to me, Adam. What's happening in Ukraine?
Zelensky has said today is a historic day. We are returning Kherson. As of now, our defenders are approaching the city, but special forces are already in the city.
Is that a
People
trap?
of Kherson were waiting. They never gave up on Ukraine, and Ukraine always regains its own.
Okay.
So they're taking back Kherson from the Russians, apparently.
Well, I think Russia left. But apart from that, what's incorrect other than the fact that Russia left?
Well, we don't know, do we? We don't know what is going on over there.
No.
As you said, in fact, the Washington Post have put it here, after Russian retreat. So, and he has said, we are returning. As of now, our defenders are approaching the city, but special forces are already in the city, making it sound as if the special forces are the ones that have driven out the Russians.
Yeah, they did fuck all. Yeah. So, I mean, my first concern is what the fuck is Putin up to, Putin! Because the guy doesn't have a reverse gear, so why has he changed his strategy? What's he up to?
Where is Kherson in Ukraine? Let's have a look.
It's on the kind of border, isn't it?
Just going to look on the maps and see.
But yeah, so I'm a bit. I don't know. I don't know what Putin's up to because he's a bit of a loose cannon,
Yeah.
Something is brewing, says Mr. Jungle Griffin. I think you could be right.
You know what? Something is always brewing somewhere in the world, isn't it?
Well, yeah, the whole thing. Well, speaking of things brewing, what about Eli Lilly?
See, this is. We need to give some setup to this, and
Yeah,
I
go
think
on.
this might be part of the reason that you can't get a Twitter verification for $8 anymore.
Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah.
So, before we get to Eli Lilly, let's explain what's happened here. So, those people who bought a check mark for $8, my wife being one of them, get to keep their subscription and pay their $8 and get their check mark. But nobody else can now buy Twitter Blue, can buy the check mark. Why is that, John?
Because someone made a Twitter account purporting to be Eli Lilly, the company, the pharmaceutical company,
They did, with a verified check mark.
with a verified checkmark, and then they posted a tweet saying that insulin was free.
That's
From
brilliant,
now
isn't
on.
it?
And
Because
then,
it's so expensive in America. It's like $110
Oh, yeah,
per shot
yeah.
or something silly.
Yeah.
yeah, so then what happened?
Well, then the share price just went through the floor.
They lost $1 billion of value. The
Well,
company
you say
did.
they lost $1 billion, but let's be honest, that money doesn't exist anywhere.
No, it
right?
doesn't.
I mean, it's just figures on a spreadsheet. So, really, on paper, they lost $1 billion, but they'll get that money. Will come back because the idiots, the real life idiots, who may have actually harmed their spreadsheet count of money, which really doesn't exist either. I mean, none of this money fucking exists in real terms, But anyway, so the idiots that sold all their shares will buy them back, and then there'll be a readjustment, and their shares will come back and they'll be bounced back. So, but someday in there will have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not money that really exists, remember, because this is just fucking figures on a spreadsheet. So somebody's going to have made an awful lot out of that, and they're definitely going to be investigated by the US Securities Commission.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
It's quite good, though. I quite like it, the way that it's worked, because it shows how the system is completely fucking useless and not fit for purpose.
Shows how much power Twitter has as well, doesn't it?
Well, it's not even Twitter, it's the stupidity of people. It shows how stupid people are, right? And what it also shows is the fact that this isn't a robust system for valuing anything, It's not a system that should be valuing businesses and products and people, because it's not robust enough. If it can go up and down like that, it's just everything's a car crash waiting to happen, and you see it happening every so often, because if we're going into recession, I mean, the housing market's going to fucking fall through the floor.
Yeah.
And then people on paper are going to be left with, in the hole, because they don't have enough money to move anymore, because if they sell their house, they'll still owe money on it.
Yeah.
And why haven't they cured diabetes already as well?
Because a customer cured is a customer lost.
Well, exactly right. If you can keep something managed, you'd like somebody that can be sick but still live a long life. That is the perfect customer for a pharmaceutical company.
There is no benefit to curing chronic diseases.
Because, like John said, a customer cured is a customer lost, and we don't want customers lost. Because
anything can kick off a bank run, Mr. Jungle Griffin. Because all it needs is somebody to fart the wrong way with a system like what we have.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's too volatile.
To criticize Elon Musk for a minute, he really did not think this through, did he?
No, we probably didn't. But the other thing is, the people that did this didn't think it through either, because unless they're deliberately trying to fucking either get done, right, or bring down, Twitter, which they could be, they could be trying to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole thing's just a fucking rich man's plaything. That's all the whole thing is. That's all the world is. The world is a rich man's plaything.
Yeah.
Because if you've got the money, you can do anything you like. And if you're like us, if you're trapped in a position that you can't get out of, you're just a slave.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what colour you are or what you actually think, what freedoms you actually think you have, because you don't have any freedoms.
No.
I mean, you can't even tell jokes these days.
No, you're absolutely
you maybe end
right.
up in jail.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we
See, this is the thing. Everything that you get fucking, and I'm sorry to be bashing on, but everything that you get thrown down your throat from the TV is something you cannot change, right? Because they go on about things like pandemics, like terrorism, like climate change. I mean, they fucking throw these things down your throat all the time.
Yeah.
And you as an individual can't change any of that shit. You can't do anything. And going and climbing a gantry on the M25 isn't going to change fuck all.
No, of course it's not.
All it's going to do is put you in jail, right? So nothing that you hear about on the news you can change, because news has now become global rather than local. And a fucking butterfly flaps its wings in Beijing, and you know about it because of the news now. So you know all these global things that you can't change. You know about all these wars and things like Saudis fucking beating the shit out of Yemenis, Israel and Gaza, the Ukraine and Russia. You know about all these things, but can't do anything about it. And I mean, you can say, I stand with Ukraine. Nobody gives a fuck where you stand, because it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference at all what you say you're doing and how many flags you put in your profile, because you personally don't make a fucking difference. And you don't make a difference in your hundreds or thousands or millions, because we've seen that. We've seen you on the streets of London in millions, and you made no fucking difference whatsoever. It was a waste of time, right? Because there's only one thing as a group that you can do, and that one thing is a thing I can't say, because then I'd be a bad person.
Well, exactly.
And I'm going to go and get some more drink.
Well, exactly. But the fact of the matter is, when you think about it, when you really do put your head down and think about this logically, he's absolutely right. He is. Like he said, I was rocking around there on my mobility scooter. Adam, you as well.
Yep.
We saw these large swathes of people. I mean, there are people watching now in the audience who were there too, and it didn't make a blind bit of difference. It didn't. To think that it did is just to fool ourselves, really. So we do have to come to terms with the reality of the situation at hand. And the reality of the situation at hand is that they don't care about us. They don't care about what we think. They don't care about what we want. They don't care about us at all. So, what do you do? How can you approach these flat-out psychopaths and narcissists? Have you got an answer, Adam?
Well, this is why we're seeing so many trolls.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why.
I mean, is this another fake verified account?
Yeah, this was Tony Blair George Bush tweeted, "I miss killing Iraqis," and then Tony Blair responded with, "Same, to be honest."
But these both were false
fake
accounts, but with verified check marks. Because, like I said, Elon Musk didn't think this through.
Yeah.
But there have been some comments made. There have been some comments made by people who have what they are now coining legacy check marks, right?
Yes.
That are just showing themselves up for what they
People are stupid.
are. because they're saying things like, "Oh my god, my verified mentions are useless now because us prominent people used to use them to talk to one another. And you know, we could interact with the plebs if we'd like, but we could actually just talk to one another in our verified, because it's funny. There is a special verified area in notifications where you only get notifications from other verified people."
Yeah.
Right? And that was their sort of golden goose. They could talk to one another. They didn't have to interact with you, me, the plebs, the normal people, because they were the prominent ones. Some of them people paid $20,000 for their fucking check mark. But
So, can I go into part 2 of my rant now?
you can.
Right, so part 2 is, what can you actually do, right? So, what differences can you make? And the differences that you can make are the differences in the way that you think and the way you approach things and the way you do things as an individual. And that's the kind of thing that Ben and Adam and I are working on individually and as a team amongst ourselves, to change the way that we approach things, to change the way we think about things, and to look at innovative and different ways of making ourselves and our own lives better, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only things that we can really change, because, you know, these shows aren't here to make you change your mind. We're not trying to influence you. All we're trying to do is entertain you and give
inform.
you maybe and give you some information and education, perhaps, if you want to take it as such. So that's my take on what you can do. You can change yourself, because really, ultimately, that's the only thing you can do, ever. But when you change yourself, and then other people see that you're changing, that's when you may influence others, without directly saying to people, you know, you need to change or whatever. So you just let people see how you change and how things get better for you. And then they think, well, that guy's doing a good job, and maybe I want to follow that. And that's how change comes about.
And do you know what?
Because doing what we've tried over the last couple of years with petitions and marches and
doesn't work.
You know, making movies about things, and nobody cares. Nobody cares about that, because they don't give it the exposure that it's entitled to. That's the problem. And to get that exposure, even when you use people that were half-bit, you know, soap opera stars and whatever, you know, it still doesn't give you enough exposure.
No.
And even when you get people who were doctors and famous Nobel laureates, it doesn't give you enough exposure, because if you're getting hit every day by MSN and your government, then you're never going to get exposure that will compete with that. So what you've got to do is you've got to drop back. You've got to drop back to a lower level and work at that level.
So I'm just going to
my thought of the day.
I'm just going to Elon's Twitter account, because he's been making some very interesting and I would say inflammatory statements about independent journalism, right? Listen to this. This was 4 hours ago.
Well, he said he supported it.
He said, as Twitter pursues the goal of elevating citizen journalism, media elite will try everything to stop that from happening.
They will.
Mainstream media will still thrive, but increased competition from citizens will cause them to be more accurate, as their oligopoly on information is disrupted. This guy is going for him.
He's very good, isn't he?
Well, you know, whether or not you look at him as some kind of savior, that's entirely up to you. And I know a lot of people don't, right? And personally speaking, I don't. I've said about Elon Musk, the proof is in the pudding. And right now, I still don't have my Twitter account back, and I don't have any avenue, at least announced, to getting my Twitter account back, right?
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding, and so far the pudding is pretty fucking sour, Elon. So, but to hear these sorts of statements, that's encouraging. It is. It is. It's encouraging.
I tell you what else was quite good. When Reuters posted something today, right?
Right.
That said Tesla is considering exporting electric cars from China into the US.
Yes.
Because because the Chinese uptake isn't as good as we expected, and it means they can make them cheaper and make more profits in the US.
Yeah.
And Elon replied to it going, what did he say?
I don't know.
Fake? Or
did
he say fake? He said either fake or...
I'm on his Twitter account, so...
He either said fake or no, it's not. And he replied to it like that. So where did they get that story? That's Reuters. So they're meant to be a reputable news gathering organization.
But Reuters have been attacking Elon for days now.
Yeah, but why wouldn't Reuters, if they're going to say that, why wouldn't they ask him first? Because as soon as they put it up, he said, no, that's not true.
Yeah, that just makes them look like a source of misinformation.
So here we go. Here we go. I've got it here.
Saying it's not true, and if he's accurate, then they are a source of misinformation. It doesn't make them look like it. It makes them a source of misinformation.
So he didn't specifically say fake. I've got it here, right? So Reuters tweeted this out. So with the exclusive, Tesla is considering. So someone called Eva Fox responded, who's not even verified, but responded, "We need the ability to report a tweet for false information, possibly with the addition of the link to the source refuting the info. This will help rank the account and ultimately should affect its visibility, frequency of impressions to other Twitter users." To which Elon responded, "When community notes rolls out worldwide, it will have a powerful impact on falsehoods."
Yeah, that's not the tweet I saw. He responded to the Reuters tweet and said, "No, it's not."
So far, I've not found that, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. But so I'm looking through his tweets and replies, and I'm not seeing that. But like you say, he could.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Hold on. I think I may have bookmarked it.
Yeah, no, he did. Okay, I've found it. He tweeted one word: false.
There you go.
And despite the fact,
right.
Despite the fact he has told them 6 hours ago it was false, this tweet remains. This story remains. They're calling it an exclusive, right?
Yeah.
But if the owner, the CEO of Tesla, is saying false, then maybe you should retract that story. 7 hours, the tweet is still there.
The lady that appears to be responsible for this story isn't a lady called Yan Zhang.
Right.
She's a China auto correspondent.
Of course she is.
She's based in Hong Kong, by the looks of it.
So what you're telling me here is this looks like some kind of sabotage campaign once again against Elon Musk by Reuters.
Couldn't possibly comment.
Yeah, probably could be.
But the mainstream media they've had it out for him forever.
Well,
right?
yeah, they have. I mean, look at the amount of times they was attacked when it was just Tesla. Look at the amount of times they tried to bring down Tesla by freaking putting out stories that would interfere with the share price.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Hold on, let me go through.
And look at the amount of them that shorted Tesla to deliberately drive down the share prices.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know, they said that he shouldn't. He couldn't. PayPal could never work, for example. They attacked him for that. Said PayPal will never work. PayPal can never work. PayPal worked. In fact, PayPal are now a censorious clown show themselves, aren't they? Jesus.
Well, right. So the thing is, the whole situation that we have financially, right?
Yeah,
is just a shit show run by the banks for the banks' benefit, and with nothing but the banks as the beneficiaries, because banking runs the world now, and they rule the world.
Yes.
So when people say, who's behind all this shit? It's always the banks, and it's the people who run the banks that are behind it. And when I say the people that run the banks, I don't mean the fucking CEO, HSBC or whatever. I mean the people that run the banks, that own the banks. And then you got to look at the big banking families, and all you need to do is start naming off the fucking big names. And it sounds like a conspiracy, but Rothschild, you know?
So...
And then you just start Rockefeller, you know, and you run through the banking families, and they still rule the world because they run the banks, and they've got all the money and all the control. And the thing is, It's been given to them by us and by government,
Mm-hmm.
and they've made their play without it costing them anything, because all they've done is print money that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, John, what are you suggesting then? That we redistribute their wealth?
They don't have any wealth. That's the problem, because none of the money that they've made, right? I mean, you look at what happens with fractional. You know how fractional reserve banking works, right? You know, you go to the central bank issues. Let's just say the central bank issues £1,000 to each of the fucking banks that supports, and just let's say there's 10 of them, right? So each of those banks gets £1,000, right? And then each of those banks can lend 10. Let's just say 10 times. It's usually higher, but let's say they can lend 10 times that £1,000. So each of those banks then can lend £9,000, right? Each. So that's, you get 10 times 9. So that's you got £1 million. Well, yeah, you got £100,000 in circulation suddenly, right? On the strength of that 1,000. I mean, the whole thing's fucking mental. So you've got money out there that they then lend to people to buy products, because we spoke about this the other day, right? So they buy products, and those products that they buy are invariably houses, right?
Yeah, bricks and mortar.
They buy bricks and mortar. So they buy real products with those, the money that they lend, but they buy it in the form of mortgages. So it doesn't benefit the people who build the houses, because if you lent the money to the builders, then builders could build houses cheaper and people could own them cheaper, and the banks wouldn't need to lend as much money, so they wouldn't make as much money on it, and they couldn't charge as much interest. So the bank's lent you money it doesn't have, right? And it's now charging you to pay it back to them.
Yeah.
So you're paying interest on money
that doesn't exist.
They don't have. And that, you know, when you tell people that's how fractional reserve banking works, and that's how banking works with their mortgage right now, they look at you as if you're stupid. Because they cannot comprehend that the money they got to go and buy their house actually doesn't fucking exist.
No.
And you're paying back a loan that doesn't exist to a bank that didn't have the money in the first place, and is now asking you for extra money from the money that you're getting from your employment, which has already been taxed by the government, right? Twice usually.
Yep.
Okay, so who's winning here?
The banks.
The banks. The banks are the only people that win.
Yeah, and it is just.
And remember,
one giant scam.
People think the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England are owned by the government and the people. No, they're not. They are private corporations. They are not owned by the government, and the government doesn't have any real say on how the Bank of England or the Federal Reserve work. And that's why
because
they didn't want to set up the Federal Reserve.
The Bank of England. The Bank of England
Titanic to get rid of people.
The Bank of England just recently told the government what the rate of inflation is going to be. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the government. The government had no hand, no say, no control in that at all. The Bank of England just said, this is the rate of inflation now. We are in a recession now. The Bank of England declares the recession, not the government.
Yeah, exactly. And let's look at what the government's doing, because you've got this clown Sunak, right? Who was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, right? And he obviously knows fucking nothing about how the monetary system actually works, because what he's doing just now is destroying any economic base for recovery.
Yeah.
And he should know this, because if you take away the means of production, right, which is what he's doing by increasing corporation taxes and driving people out, right, you take away the means of production, you mean you can't employ people because you've increased the taxes. You're setting minimum wages that are too high, so people are having to lay people off, right? And then of course the unions in the public sector jump in and go, we want nurses, they want a fucking increase. For what? I don't know. Was their TikTok stuff that fucking expensive? Did they have to go out and buy new clothes? It did, so they need an increase for that. And then and now Who else is wanting to go and strike? The Border Force. They've done a fucking stand-up job, haven't they?
Oh,
and
Jesus
they're
Christ.
going on strike. They want to go on strike and they want more money, right? So all the public sector want more money for doing fuck all, right? And being the only group in the last 2 years that's been secure in their job. Right?
Yeah.
You know, haven't been laid off, haven't had to do anything apart from maybe work from home, and they fucking love working from home because they do fuck all day, because they come in here and go to the gym, or you see them walking their dogs, so you can't hide and say, oh, I work like a bastard when I'm working from home. No, you fucking don't. You're a bunch of lying cunts.
Oh my God, yep.
Right? So, you know what? The whole fucking thing is a pile of shit. And it just needs to fall apart. It really does.
The whole system needs to come down.
It does. It's sick.
Can I just say one thing?
You can.
There was somebody who promoted this kind of talk, and his name was Mao Zedong.
Oh dear.
What kind of talk? I'm not. Hey, no, you're confusing me with a communist, and I am far from a fucking communist. Because in a communist state, who owns all the means of production?
Yep.
The fucking government owns it all.
Yeah.
And that's just as bad, if not worse, right?
Do you see parallels with what we are now?
Please do not confuse me with a communist. Yeah, because the aims of government are all the fucking same, whether they're communist, capitalist, liberal, Democrat, conservative, they're all the fucking same. And what are those aims of government, people? They are: 1, keep the population in control; 2, feather their own fucking nest.
Preach, baby! Preach!
There you go.
There we go.
Good
free
point.
yourself, live free, all of that.
Yeah.
So, have you got any tips then on the revolution?
Carry a fucking hammer.
No! No, metaphorically. Metaphorically.
Yeah, metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Speak softly and carry a hammer.
Oh, for God's sake! What he means by
Hey,
carrying.
if it's good enough for Paul Pelosi, it's good enough for me.
Oh, for fuck's sake! What he means, we do not condone people carrying hammers in public. What he means is carrying.
Well, if you need it as a proper tool.
Yes, as a proper tool, but carry a hammer with your words, right? Turn your words into that hammer. I'm trying to get you out of this, John. Help me.
Listen, mate, there's no point in getting me out of anything because the world is fucked, and we're back to you can't actually change it. Right?
No, well,
all you can do is change yourself and work on yourself. And what you do with these bastards, right? Is you work within their system, right? So you don't no point in trying to change their system.
No.
Right? But you take every fucking advantage you can, right?
Yeah, okay.
So when you see things like, you start a company, you start a holding company, you connect a trust fund to that, you get the trust fund paying out, the trustee paying out to the beneficiaries of the trust fund, and then nobody's paying tax to anyone, right? And that's legal. You do that.
Yeah.
Because your first job to yourself is tax avoidance, because you don't want to pay tax if you can avoid paying tax, because that's perfectly legal.
Tax avoidance.
And it's not only legal if you run a company, that's your duty to your shareholders. Now, your shareholder might only be yourself, but it's still your fucking duty to your shareholder to do that.
To make as much money as possible.
To make as much money as possible and to outlay as little money as possible, right?
Yeah, that's the point.
Tax avoidance is your game, and that's what you do. And that's why companies like Amazon go to Ireland, right? Because the tax rate in Ireland for corporations is fucking nothing. So they headquarter themselves in Ireland. But what Ireland don't do is they fucking make the tax rate so low that they don't benefit from it.
No.
So the company relocates to Ireland, but it doesn't employ anyone because everyone's done fucking electronically these days.
Yeah.
So it sets up a fairly small office with, tens, thousands of people in it or whatever. But that doesn't make a big difference to Ireland, because all the money they make still gets shipped out back to Jeff so he can put it in a dick-shaped rocket and take Captain Kirk to space.
He was the real-life Dr. Evil when he did that, wasn't he?
He fucking was, wasn't he?
He was bald, he was in a dick-shaped rocket, and you could have made all of them Johnson jokes. You could have done it all. Right, but
Could have.
And he's got more than $1 billion.
Yeah, so you know what? Take every advantage you can and give the government as little as possible and take as much as you can from them. Because you know what? See that money that we keep saying it's your money, it's our money? Is it? Fuck, it's not. Because they're just making that money up because they're printing that money as well. So that money really doesn't exist. So you take everything you fucking can off them, take it with clenched fist, and then get it out of the bank into real cash and keep the fucker away from them. That's what to do.
No, do you know what? I can't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. I think you're absolutely right. And do you know what? The chat are loving you tonight. They're all saying you are on fire. I mean, look here, John on fire. Ha ha ha. Go on, John lad. Reverend J. Someone said earlier, John has blue pilled me tonight. You are on fire, my friend.
Thank you.
And you know, maybe I should make you grumpy before every stream.
Maybe, because I didn't feel like this before the show started.
But you are. Jibber Jabber says, John more wisdom than Yoda. Oh, drink wine he must.
You know, I went to sleep last night. I couldn't get to sleep because of the wind. It was howling.
Right.
And some clown's gate was banging all night, and branches were falling off the roof and everything. In fact, at one point I got a fright. I thought the fucking roof was coming in. So I turned on Alan Watts and then Masters of Zen and fell asleep listening to Zen quotes.
Why does that neither shock or surprise me?
Well, I think it goes in during the night.
I'll tell you what, so I fell asleep too. I was watching the Charlie Kirk show. Yeah? And Charlie Kirk wasn't actually on the Charlie Kirk show. I just put it on. It was on YouTube, and I just put it on, and I was falling asleep. But what I did hear, and this was a bit of news that I did want to talk about, is we're going back to Twitter because Yoel Roth, who is head of trust and safety at Twitter, in fact, he's
was.
Yes,
Yeah.
In fact, I believe he was the man that was responsible for the censorship of the New York Post and the Hunter Biden laptop story. He called half of America racist. This man wasn't clearly in a position to be neutral in any way, shape, or form. He is gone. Now, they're saying he's left. I think he's probably been unceremoniously fired because the day before yesterday, him and what was her name, the head of marketing?
The one that was the one that has been alleged that Elon said, you know, apparently she annoyed Elon in a meeting or something. So it was disrespectful.
It was during the Spaces. So there was a Twitter Spaces hosted by her, Elon, and Yoel.
And apparently she said something that quite annoyed Elon or was disrespectful to him. And apparently he said, "You're fired. Go and get free unlimited wine somewhere else." Yeah,
free wine on tap elsewhere.
Yeah,
is what
fucking hell.
But you know what? It's his company. Right?
Yeah, it is.
It's his company, but the celebrations on the Charlie Kirk show last night were quite evident for this man, Mr. Roth, being let go or leaving the company. People are saying he's been sacked. Other people are saying he's walked out. In fact, I would actually contend that yes, he was fired because I was listening to that Twitter space, 12 hours before this news broke, and they all seemed on Team Elon. They all seemed on the same page. They all seemed on this page.
So he's the guy that took over from Vijaya.
Yes.
Right.
But he was already, management on the team anyway.
Yeah. So he was next in line, So
yeah.
Yeah. So she got, well, basically it's a Roman method of promotion by assassination. So Vijaya gets bumped off and he takes her place.
Yeah. Well, not anymore.
Well, it's another Et tu, Bruta.
He's gone absolutely radio silent on Twitter. I mean, he was very, very vocal on Twitter about what they were doing to improve things right up until the day before yesterday. Then boom, nothing.
Sounds like he got fired.
Yeah. He hasn't tweeted at all. He might even be locked out of his own Twitter account for all we know.
Well, they do have non-disclosure agreements, don't they? When you join an American company, you have to sign up to these agreements to say you won't do certain things. And maybe that was part of the agreement of his termination.
Yeah, it's not just American companies that have them.
No.
We have them here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and we've got that other thing called the Official Secrets Act.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The official.
Some people are supposed to sign that, aren't they?
You know, I was supposed to sign that. I was supposed to sign it when I started, and I was supposed to sign it when I finished.
Right.
And they never actually got around to making me sign it.
So I believe
I can basically say what I like.
So I believe at this current moment in time, most of the nation is watching I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Oh,
right?
Jesus Christ.
And the reason is that Matt Hancock and...
He's eating. Apparently he's eating, is he?
Yeah, they're eating. Matt Hancock and Boy George are going to eat things and drink things like fish eyes and testicles and things like that. So my prophecy, vote Matt to eat balls, appears to have come true. Right?
No, that's good. That's good. Right. So the thing that gets me about people who are inherently stupid, let's not forget that, right? Why are so many? Why are so many of them hell bent on pointing out that Boy George has been convicted of keeping a guy chained to a radiator and abusing them, right? When that's their defence against us slagging Matt.
Yeah.
Because, as I've pointed out repeatedly today, Boy George only did it to one fucking person.
And he paid his debt to society.
Prison time for it, so he served his debt to society. Matt Hancock did it to a lot more than one, and affected
Do you know what?
tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people.
Right, so there's a couple of things that are really, really angering me about what's going on over on ITV. First of all, I wanna shout out my friend Cheryl. So Cheryl Barusco, because she is currently calling it the most dangerous show on television, and she's absolutely right, in my opinion. And the reason is the way that ITV, because I've been watching this to see what they do, right? And so far, the way that ITV have been crafting the narrative around Matt Hancock is they are trying to make him a sympathetic character who people forgive. And that's seriously, that is what they are trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see yesterday's episode? Within 2 minutes of yesterday's episode, he said there was a conspiracy theory going around about me and Bill Gates wanting to put microchips in everybody through the vaccine.
Right, so no, I haven't seen it because I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to dignify it with a watch. But apart from that, I do hear that black woman, the one that used to be a journalist.
Yeah.
I hear that she's having a fair few good questioning lines on him.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
She is.
So that's maybe something to watch.
Yeah,
Apparently he's crying again as well.
Oh, fucking boo. Why is he crying? When did it become acceptable for men to fucking cry? Really? When was the last time you cried, Adam?
Well, I cry every day, one thing or another.
Oh, you fucking wuss. Fucking simp. Right, Ben.
Usually because I bang my thumb.
Yeah, when did you last cry?
It depends what you mean by cry. I mean, I shed tears if I dislocate a joint.
Yeah, not in physical pain and not in laughter. When did you have an emotional cry?
Probably about 6 weeks ago when I had a breakdown. But other than that, you know,
Right, okay.
you know what happened there, and you know what I've done to solve that.
Right.
So
there you go. Right. So when did it become acceptable for men to fucking just cry on demand on TV? When did we become fucking the Kardashians? You know, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I just find it. That's not fucking crying. And that picture is not crying. That's a fucking... Look at him smirking away. That's the kind of face you would want to smack
And this is another thing that's really, really, really pissing me off. And whoever 11 has, I'm not going to say some of the words that are in there, but he has made a very good point here in so much as the thing that they are trying to get the country to forgive Matt Hancock for is breaking the lockdown rules and having his affair with Gina. That is it. That is what they want. That is what they are going hard on, is him doing that, right? But what about reality?
There was another person who's done similar though to this, Ben, and he worked in a healthcare setting and he distributed drugs to old people in the community. He had a beard.
Was his name Harold?
Yeah, that's it. You've got it, Harold. But he didn't kill as many people.
He didn't kill anywhere near as many people.
No.
Oh, no. Mr. Shipman.
Because what people fail to understand, and what people need to understand, is that Mr. Hancock's legacy is not even any of the other things in there, but Mr. Hancock's legacy, the fact that his name is on the ink on those restrictions, his legacy is every person that dies unnecessarily of cancer. His legacy is every child that died alone. His legacy is every old person that suffered alone. His legacy is one of absolute... It's appalling that one man could have done so much to so many. Because of Matt Hancock, because of what he did, and his name is on the paperwork. There are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people walking around this country right now who are ticking time bombs because they did not get a cancer diagnosis. There are people that died of strokes. There are people that died of heart disease because of what he did. That is his legacy. And, oh no, he kissed someone and he broke his own rules and all. That's meaningless compared to what his actual legacy is. But ITV don't have the fucking balls to go ahead and call him out on what his actual legacy is. And unfortunately, in the eyes of the general public, who I'm not gonna speak to their intelligence here, but many of them will sympathise with him. Many of them will forgive him. Many of them will come to like him and see him as a lovable, laughable character, because that's what this show is doing to him. That's what this show is doing for him. Yep. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Apparently Chris Moyles is challenging him. So I imagine Chris Moyles will probably get voted out. Call me conspiracy theorist.
Challenging him for what? Oh, about his...
well, basically saying he's not telling the complete truth.
Yeah, no, that's good. You know what? I think the whole thing is pretty disgusting, because he shouldn't be making money out of this. It shouldn't be entertainment. And yet he should be on trial. But he should be on trial properly, not fucking Bush Tucker trial. He should be sitting in a dock. And the thing is, what gets me is people keep calling for it, and we all know it's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
People never, ever get held to account.
Nah.
It's only after big things like World War II when they hold some people to account. But let's face it, most of the Nazis in World War II went to America and Russia. They didn't get
the smart ones anyway.
Yeah, they didn't get put in jail. They didn't get hung. Most of them were scientists that went to America and Russia.
So the
ones that didn't get caught, they all went to South America. We know that.
Yeah. What Matt said was, what I'm really looking for is a bit of forgiveness.
Do you know what?
I think what, and sorry Ben, because I have monopolised some of the conversation tonight.
I think we're about to say the same thing.
Yeah, but what I was going to say, whoever 11, I think you're right. That's what the celebs should have done.
Agreed.
They should have turned round and just walked out the jungle there and then.
They should have done.
Never that cunt appeared.
They all should have walked out. If they had any spines or any shred of integrity, They should have all said the words, because you can say the words to leave at any point. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Yeah.
They should have said the words together and left him there by himself. And that would have meant that they would have had to. And you know what? They should have, even worse, they should have done it whilst during the live segment when Ant and Dec walk in to the camp and give them the next
they should
trial.
just have turned around and gone, "We are a celebrity, get us out of here."
Yep, we're gone. Because the problem is all of them want their pieces of silver. Right?
Oh yeah, I know. Because people do. Well, it's like people at that ilk don't work together. You know what I mean? They don't think about the common good or anything like that. And it's only people like us, and people like you, real people, right? It's only real people that actually care for your neighbour and care for other people in the world. People that have got to the stage where they are so self-absorbed, they just don't give a shit about anyone else. You know.
No, you're absolutely
I mean, look at that!
right.
Look at that girl that says on, "I don't know why people work so hard. It only takes me 10 minutes on OnlyFans to make rent." Yeah, but you look like fucking Barbie, you know.
I mean, I think I could probably make it on OnlyFans, to be honest.
Wow, there's an option there, Ben.
Yeah, well.
It's great. It's great. It's fucking astounding to see that you have fantastic self-esteem for a crippled guy.
Well, yeah, do you know what, John? I spent nearly a decade feeling absolutely sorry for myself, locking myself indoors,
No point, mate.
moping. And where did it get me? It got me poor. It got me,
Yeah.
it got me.
You know, see, that's the problem.
I mean,
You're
I'm
right,
still
and it did.
poor, but
Yeah, I know, but you're now on the basis where you're starting to think outside the box, because if you think you're poor and you're got no options, then you will remain poor.
But do you know what? Doing this, having these conversations, having this, and it is for, at the moment, it is a hobby. So having this hobby at this moment in time has really brought this into a new space, a place where it needed to be the entire time. I don't feel sorry for myself. I make jokes about myself, right? All the time. I just ride around on my scooter if I need to, if I want to go somewhere, if I'm able to, because there are days when I can't do stuff. There are days when I'm bedbound. You guys know I have seizures and stuff like that, right? But I will get on my scooter and I will go.
What do you do if Ben has a seizure while he's in the bath? You throw the washing in.
Yeah, exactly right. And I would expect nothing less. I would expect nothing less. Come on, dear, just go and get the Daz in there. Pour it in. Right. I would expect nothing less.
What do you do if your girlfriend has a seizure while you're having sex with her?
No.
Hang on.
Oh, God, no! No! So, Mr. Jungle Griffin says, at least the washing got done. Exactly! I've been productive. And do you know what? Me and one of my other friends who we ride around,
right. So, actually, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but see those things we just did?
Yeah.
Those are called jokes.
They are, and they are funny.
And you know what? If you say those jokes to other people and people laugh at them, and somebody doesn't like it, tough shit. You didn't like the joke.
Don't listen.
Don't listen again, or say, well, that was a shit joke, I really didn't appreciate it. I'm going, well, I'm sorry, but that was a joke. That's all I've got. Right? So, but nowadays, no, that's not good enough. Nowadays, you can phone up the police and report someone and say he made a shit joke. He should be in jail, because that's basically what happened to Count Dankula.
Basically, you're absolutely. Well, there's no basically about it.
Well, that's what happened to Count Dankula.
Because
in fact, it was worse because nobody even phoned up.
No.
In fact, police went and found it themselves.
Yeah. So what happened was, like, he had no subscribers. He had like 4 YouTube subscribers when he made that video.
I know, and he says thank you very much because you fucking made my career.
Absolutely. And
so he's no longer a bouncer in Glasgow. He's now got a fucking burgeoning YouTube career because he's got. What, hundreds of thousands of subscribers?
It's over 1 million.
Well, there you go. Bang.
And do you know what? He deserves every single one of them.
Yeah, good luck, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
Fucking get it up, you ball bag. See, this is the problem, and this is what I was trying to explain to Twitter when trying to appeal for my account back, because that in Scotland is a term of endearment. That's not an insult. What I just said is a term of endearment. And if you want to join our Discord server, you too could be subject to such terms of endearment on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, one of the rules on the Discord server is we all get to call you ball bags whenever we want. That is actually one of the rules on the Discord server. So it's there.
Come and be a ball bag on our Discard Centre. How does that sound?
Yeah, Discard Centre.
Discard, yeah. You have been discarded. You have been discarded.
Link to the Discord server will be provided by Adam in just a minute.
Oh, Chris Miles called him a bell into his face. That is good.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, that sounds good. I might see if there's a clip of that, Adam, and send it to me, and I'll make a short.
Yeah,
I'll
please
make a
do.
short for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Please.
You're a bellend.
You're an absolute bellend, Mr. Hancock. Do you know what?
Go on.
I'm going to get in trouble for what I'm about to say, right? But fuck you, James Melville. You had
What's he
him.
been doing now?
You had him in the room. You had him in the room.
Yeah, the most disappointing interview ever, huh?
And you did nothing. You did not. That's because Matt Hancock's book appears to have some kind of involvement with the partner of the podcast, Isabel.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, what's her name? Oakeshott or
Isabel
however her name
Oakeshott. She appears to have had, and I can't confirm it. I'm pretty sure. Is her name on the book?
Her name's on the book. I
So-
think it's on the front page, the cover.
So she was James Melville's podcast partner at the time, and she has tried to help Matt Hancock reform his image. Of course they were going to fucking lowball him, and that's the only way they got that interview. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. There's Matt Hancock pushing the podcast interview with Oakeshott and James Melville.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go. So there you go.
Well, exactly.
So,
You know.
we might have a podcast interview soon coming up.
We hope we do.
With a semi-celebrity.
Well, we hope we do. And the wife is reaching out to other people as well over on the Twitters now that she can get into their blue tick verified mentions.
One of my friends who has a blue tick contacted another blue tick.
We won't say who because we haven't confirmed anything and we haven't confirmed any dates yet, but it would be nice to have that conversation.
It would be a good one.
It would be a good one. It would be a good one indeed. So Kari Lake, anyway, yeah, come speak to us, Kari. I'd like to have that conversation.
Yeah, that would be cool.
She is still very confident that she is the governor-elect of Arizona. She is confident.
She must be running out of things to say. Why doesn't she come on our show and talk to us? Because we could call her a ball bag.
I was going to say we could call her a ball bag.
Gary, you're a ball bag. And she'll go, what does that mean? I go, it's a good thing in Scotland.
Good thing. Don't worry about that.
The Scottish thing, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. So, Adam, you got anything for us?
My brother used to live in Arizona.
Right.
My brother was in Arizona for over 10 years. He had a green card, he had a house, he had a job, he had cars, he had dogs, he had everything. And then his wife wanted to come back and watch her mother die.
I mean, the way you put that sounds very depressing. Come back and watch her mother die. Well, the way I would have put it was the wife wanted to come back and be with her mother for her last moments.
Well, no, not for her last moments, because she's still fucking alive.
Oh, fuck!
They've been back for 4 years.
Okay.
So you set up a new life in Arizona, in America. You've been there for over 10 years. You have friends. You have everything. I mean, and you got a good job and a big house and all that, a swimming pool, right? So you're doing all right. And then you come back to this shithole because your wife wants to be with her mother for her last years. But her last years could last for fucking 20 years, couldn't they? In real terms. You know, because if her let's say her mother's like in their mid-70s.
Uh-huh.
Dude, she could fucking easily live to 95.
Right.
So that could be 20 years. And you've fucking thrown away a life in America. Why would you do that? As you can gather, me and my brother don't really talk anymore.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. I'm looking at the headline you've got here, and I'm wondering what the hell happened to cause a £17,000 energy bill.
Well, I read it and I thought, is this Kate Winslet's mum that owes?
No, that's Kate Winslet.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But the headline suggests that she's paying her mum's energy bills, but it's not her mum; it's somebody else that she's.
Oh no! Well, I would have said that headline says she's paying her own mum's energy bill.
So that's not the case. So
it's just a random mum's energy bill. Why?
Yeah.
Why is she doing that? Does she want to eat her beaver?
She's donated $17,000 to a mother facing a sky-high energy bill to operate her daughter's life support.
Jesus Christ! Why? See, that pisses me off. That pisses me off that you're operating a kid's life support and you can't afford to do so. That pisses me off. What do you say to that? What do you say to that? I mean,
hold on a minute. We're freaking over an hour into the show. Why are you bringing us back down, Adam? We should be building ourselves up.
Do you know what? I thought this was a positive story, and I thought it was going to be, somebody helping somebody, positive. And
Let's
me feel fucking great.
Let's click this away.
Yeah. It's gone.
Let's click this away.
Fucking. I mean, I feel for these people. I really feel for these people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a complete cold-hearted bastard. Just a partial cold-hearted bastard, but. For fuck's sake, it's Friday night. We're trying to pick things up again after my freaking early rant.
Yeah.
We want to finish on a high. We want to finish on a laugh.
Go and look at the New York Post.
Oh
here's
no!
One. Look at that.
Hell.
The Ukrainians have captured a Russian super yacht.
What?
And they're going to have a massive party on it.
Are they going to have a party?
A US task force set up to seize Russian oligarchs' ill-begotten gains has captured 325 million super yacht. So that's good for somebody, isn't it?
By captured, you mean stolen?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
basically pirates.
So yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, if it's somebody's property and then you take it from them,
it was on a
stealing.
high-speed chase across the Pacific, and they caught up with it and captured it.
They literally chased someone on their yacht and said, "We're taking your yacht."
They pirated
because they're Russian.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
FBI agents.
I know, come on. Seriously.
Hold on. What do you mean FBI agents? Where did this occur?
This was on the Pacific Ocean, which isn't federal ground.
So this is high seas piracy?
Yes.
It's all right. It's not okay if you're Somalian.
This is fucking high seas. This is high seas piracy. If they were in international waters, this is fucking piracy.
Absolutely.
Is this Team America World Police?
Yeah.
In action. That's exactly what that. For fuck's sake. This is what pisses me off about America, because they can't keep their fucking nose out of anything. You know what? See if they actually just looked at their own economy and thought, hold on a minute, boys. Maybe we want to fucking buckle down and start making some shit, because we won't be able to ask China to make it pretty soon, because China's going to fucking rule us. And in fact, pretty soon they'll have boots on the ground and we'll be fucking all speaking Cantonese.
Let's just read about the
We'll be ordering
Amadeus.
a Chinese on a Friday night. We'll be going for a fucking Taco Bell if we're lucky, because that's the American food.
Yeah, tell us about the yacht they stole.
The Amadeus is roughly the length of a football pitch, with a helipad at one end and a 10-metre infinity pool at the other.
Ooh.
Inside there is a gym, beauty salon, cinema and wine cellar. US investigators say it belongs to Russian billionaire Senator Suleiman Kerimov, but he denies the claims.
He denies he owns it!
There is a complex process behind tracking down the true ownership of super yachts, apparently.
Well, yeah, there will be, because these guys are doing what I told you to do. They're avoiding paying tax.
Yeah, but surely if you've got a massive super yacht, you're going to know who owns that.
Why?
You would have thought.
Why would you?
I'll take a super yacht.
Have you never? See, this is what I don't understand about you, Adam, because I thought you were quite a switched-on guy, right?
Right.
And I thought you had your own company, and you've been
I've never bought a super yacht.
Yeah, but no, but you've been working out there in the field of
Tech.
of tech and endeavour, right?
Mm.
Have you never heard the hide the boots story?
No.
Tell us,
what
John.
the fuck are they teaching you people these days?
Tell
This
us-
is what I
tell-
don't
tell us-
understand. You must always hide the boots. Right? So the hide the boot story is quite simple. It's like woman executive is on a fucking business trip, okay? And she goes out and she's going somewhere and she needs to buy a new pair of boots. So she buys a pair of boots on the fucking company credit card, gets the receipt, and then goes back, submits her fucking expenses, and the accountant files it back to her and goes, "No, you must hide the boots." So the boots then turn into like essential overnight clothing for unscheduled business trip.
Okay.
So you hide the boots.
Yep.
And it's exactly the same with a fucking super yacht.
Yes.
It just needs a bit more creative thinking.
Yeah.
But that's what you do. You hide the boots.
Yep.
The youth of today, what do they teach them?
I wish I had boots to hide, to be honest. I would like to be able to hide the boots. So, people, if you want to help us get to a point where we can hide the boots, subscribe, because
We can do the show live from the super yacht next time, Ben.
we still make absolutely nothing for doing this, and we would very much enjoy, actually being self-sufficient, wouldn't we, John?
Yeah, we would. Right, so here's a story for you. A couple who fled Ukraine war, moved back to Ukraine.
Oh my God.
Instead of living in Nottingham.
I can understand that, John.
I can. You're from Nottingham, aren't you, Adam?
I'm not from Nottingham. Don't insult me, Ben.
But you've been there.
I lived there for 5 years.
You lived there before living where you live now, right?
Yes, that's right.
Right, so that if you read the actual article roll, and I'll give you the clip notes, what it actually translates to is moved back to Ukraine because we weren't getting enough benefits in Nottingham, and we didn't offer the good enough house.
Jesus Christ! I mean,
What?
so
That's basically what it is. The guy was British, she was Ukrainian, and
Perhaps this was the reason, John.
because she had a visa because of his British citizenship, they weren't getting all the what would you call it, benefits that other Ukrainian refugees might get. So they decided to go back to Ukraine, where it's cheaper to live.
Ukraine has better roads as well than the
Probably,
UK, than
yeah.
Nottingham specifically.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is
fucking
terrible there.
British roads are shocking.
you know what? That's why whenever I'm lucky enough to be able to go over to France, I just love driving their roads. I really do. I love driving their roads. They are beautiful. They are well maintained. It's night and day. It's British roads, like you say, John, are absolutely terrible. English roads especially, right? If you would like to help me go back to France, then please consider becoming a subscriber at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent, and you could send me back to France to drive those
And remember,
wonderful
Ko-fi-
roads.
Ko-fi is our preferred partner because they don't take a cut. Everything you give us comes to us.
And it's a donation,
It is a donation.
Donations are very much appreciated, and it buys the Ko-fi, the coffee, which I'm nearly out of, unfortunately. I've been drinking coffee like it's going out of fashion today, right?
You're not going to sleep, are you?
I drink a lot of caffeine. I'll be fine. Usually, what are you talking about? The amount of shows where I've sat here and just pounded through like 5 cans of Red Bull and then got on the Coke. I sleep.
True.
I sleep.
That's true.
And even after the show, when the show finishes at 11 p.m, I'm going to go make another coffee. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink that, and I will sleep. I just enjoy caffeinated beverages. It's basically all that keeps me going. Because of the amount of, drugs I take, legal, of course, I can barely drink. I can't drink alcohol because it would fuck me up. quite frankly. So I've got to have something, and coffee is my something. I mean, look at you two. He's got a beer. I don't know what you're drinking.
Who, me? I'm drinking wine.
Oh, you're on a.
Oh, hold on. Here's something. Come up.
Oh, John's found something.
Right. Let's have a look at this. So, Olivia Atwood has left many viewers wondering exactly why she was forced to quit I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yes.
Right. Now reported suggests the former Love Island star was forced to drop out of the show due to strict rules.
What?
Okay. ITV have declined to comment on the reason behind her exit, but Olivia is reported to have wished to return to the jungle following a medical issue, but wasn't allowed. Now,
yes, that's the report.
We did report that. That's correct, and so far, that's as we understood it. It was recently reported that concerns were raised by a member of the crew following a standard test that celebs do behind the scenes during the series, and after further checks were made away from the jungle, it was ITV's decision to remove Olivia from the show. It then goes on to say, Olivia wasn't feeling ill or unwell. She was perfectly fine. There was just something that came up which concerned the show's medical team, and it escalated from there.
This is not an allergic reaction, is it?
No.
Somebody's not treated, are they?
Yeah. It's either that, right?
Yep.
Either that, or she's maybe...
Maybe. It could be. It could have been.
It's one or the other, right? And can't see it being anything else.
Well, yeah. This is very weird.
She's vowed the truth will out as well.
She's vowed the truth will out.
She has vowed that, yes.
So
it's probably not. If the truth will out.
No.
From the Metro there.
Yeah.
So she's obviously under some kind of NDA at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But so
they're doing some kind of tests.
Yeah. So
it's a cautionary measure. Olivia needs to leave the jungle. So only get some medical checks.
And let's face it, it's freaking Australia. So what could it possibly be?
You know what it is. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ben. Did you say that?
I thought it. I mean, I thought it. I did.
What a load of shite, though. I mean, for fuck's sake, get on with your world. Get on with your life.
Yeah.
Get a grip.
United States, let us in.
Please, RDS.
Well, now, with Republicans now in control of the House and maybe the Senate, maybe that January 8th date will change.
Well, maybe, but I was hoping it was going to change. I've lost my bet.
You have.
No, it wasn't me. It was someone else that bet.
She did say one interesting thing at the end here as well. The post ended, P.S. Who's going to roast Matt Hancock now?
So she knew he was in there. Because they're not supposed to know who their counterparts are, but of course they know, right?
You will hear the truth from Olivia in due course, and she will be back on your screens in the new year. So she's pissed off. She's not happy.
She's pissed off and she can't see it until it's finished.
Yeah.
Basically.
And it's a 3-week show, right? It's on every day for 3 weeks, and then it's over. So we shall see what's what with that situation. But you know what? Fuck them for putting him in there and for giving him 400 grand, right? Giving him 400 grand. It's obscene.
That is obscene.
It's obscene because, as you have rightfully pointed out several times, and the woman from Coronation Street pointed out last night on the show, by the way, and she was fuming. He's a sitting MP with constituents back home who he is not representing.
Did she point that out? Excellent.
She did. She did. She sat there and...
Was that Eileen from Coronation Street?
Yeah, Sue, I think her name is. I could be wrong. But
yeah, she played Eileen in Coronation Street apparently, or something like that.
But yeah,
he hasn't got a boss now, has he, to sack him?
Because he's an independent. No, but it doesn't matter. He does have a boss. He's fucking beholden to the people that elected him.
The people!
If enough of us complain, then we can get him sacked.
Well,
Does it work like that?
his constituents, his constituents, maybe. You know what? These YouTube analytics are absolutely fucked. No offense to YouTube, but your system tonight is shite. It really is. It's giving us completely wrong stats, and I know they're wrong because I'm watching the live thing anyway. So, thanks YouTube for that, by the way. But it's Christmas now, as you can see. It is Christmas. I've got the tree of representation. I have the tinsel. I have more tinsel. This is going to slowly turn into a Christmas fantasy. Christmas grotto. And if you want to be involved in my Christmas, you can do so. Go to the Discord. Adam's put the link in the chat already. And go to the thread, sponsor Ben's balls. That's right, you can sponsor my balls. And it's not nearly as rude as it sounds, is it, Adam?
No.
What happens if they sponsor my balls?
Well, they get a ball on your tree, and they get their face printed on it.
That's not true. Let's not lie to them.
Well, you could draw it on.
I could draw like a little circle and then a couple of dots and. In
fact, that might be a good thing to draw people in. You know, if you do them a little doodle of their face on the ball.
I'm going to give them their name and a personalised message. You sponsor my balls. Do it. Yeah, it's people don't
Jibber
have.
Jabber says all three of them.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. All free. And if I get free balls upon my tree, you know, that's 6 coffees. So
What's that?
we're talking to people about my balls.
Your balls?
Ben's
Yeah,
grifting his balls.
Ben's balls.
my balls.
Yeah, but we've got a new segment coming. Stay tuned on Monday.
We've actually got a couple of new segments coming, haven't we?
Yeah, so we'll reveal them on Monday, shall we? Or we'll reveal them next week once we've thrashed it out.
Yeah, once we've actually locked in, finalised. I've told the wife she might be involved in one of them. She's not very excited about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Same kind of response I got, so I don't know if that'll work. I don't know if that'll fly.
No, I think
It was like kinda. What?
I think we'll call this partially a work meeting right now, even though, we'll keep the wives out of it, shall we, boys?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we'll
I
keep.
don't think it would work.
I don't, but at the same time, I was thinking maybe we should give each other a budget of £10 and then Secret Santa each other a gift from Amazon.
Yeah, okay. We could do that.
Make sure it gets there and make sure it's only opened. Everyone keeps them sealed in their packets and we only open them on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris Whitty mugs.
You send me a Chris Whitty mug, mate, and we're through. We are through.
There are 2 things you must never fucking send me. One of them is Matt Lucas. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what the second one is, but the first one is you must never send me Matt Lucas.
That isn't an invitation to turn on your snap cam and make yourself look like Matt Lucas.
No, don't. For fuck's sake, do not do that.
Don't do it. What have we got here? Failed crypto exchange FTX was ran by 10 people who lived together and were involved romantically.
You know what it is, Ben? This is a cult.
Yeah, so tell us more.
A crypto cult.
Tell us more.
The news was basically that this chap here who ran the FTX crypto exchange that was very big. Let's have a look further down the list here. If we can see.
He's not very attractive.
FTX. No, he's not. None of them were, though. To be honest, they ran a crypto exchange.
But his you don't have to be attractive when you have a lot of wealth.
Well, I don't know. There are lines.
So it was a huge futures fund, and it collapsed. And they've now discovered that there was a group of people behind it that lived in a commune, and they were all having it off with each other. And
good on them.
Yeah, that's the story really. But it's a big one because they earned a lot of money and they had a lot of money stored away in the FTX exchange.
So they got. Is it all gone?
Pretty much, yeah. It's collapsed. It's gone. Yep.
So my question is this: how does it collapse? Come on! I'm a layman here when it comes to crypto, right? I sometimes buy a bit of Bitcoin, and then I'm excited when it makes a few pennies, and then I withdraw it. Right?
Yep.
That's. But what happens here? Because didn't the government seize a load of money from it?
Yes, on the heels of its bankruptcy filings this morning, FTX US has suspended withdrawals. News broke today of the Chapter 11 protection that FTX is seeking, basically meaning that nobody could withdraw any money from the company.
Yeah. Because there was a crypto crash, wasn't there? Because of it.
There was.
Because it was the second biggest exchange, I believe. People had wallets there and the like, and so what kicked this off, I believe, was this seizure, right?
Yep.
What seizure?
The US government seized billions of dollars in crypto from them.
Why?
The bankruptcy filings should be a sign of hope that users will be able to receive assets held by FTX.
Right.
Yeah,
but
but
the company had a $10 billion hole in its financials.
Right, hold on a minute. Why did the US government seize anything?
Because the crypto market collapsed and
hold on.
nothing. It was a protective measure.
For the customers.
Yep.
But why?
They've lost all their money anyway.
Hold on. How does this crypto fucking exchange work?
Whoever 11 is informing us here. The exchange lent customer funds to another company that they owned. So right. the depth of this story is something that we've got to look into, I think, before we cover it.
Yeah, I think we're kind of shooting in the dark here, right? Because I know fuck all about crypto.
Yep.
Right.
Well, this isn't really crypto.
But it's not
about a company going down the pan.
No, this sounds freaking financial shenanigans. This doesn't sound like just a straightforward company going down the pan.
Yep.
This sounds like something's gone awry because the government can't step in and seize your assets.
Yep.
For no reason.
Yeah. No, and you could be right. And once again, it's probably something we do have to look a lot further down the rabbit hole of. But there are probably a lot of people who have got a lot of crypto assets, and I say that in inverted commas because let's face it, does cryptocurrency even exist?
Right. So see, we're back to banks again, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, prior to 1971, if there was a run on the bank, it didn't matter because you had a fucking physical medium in gold that backed everything up.
Yep.
So really, ultimately, the bank had money, or whoever had money in the bank had it. It was backed up by gold.
Yep.
But now it's backed up by government bonds,
which is nothing.
Yeah, because you know what government bonds are?
Nothing.
Oh, you know what they really are?
Nothing.
They're promises that the government will pay the bank using money that it will tax from its citizens.
So once again,
that's what a government bond is.
It's nothing. It's another government promise, and we all know they're full of shit.
Yeah.
So
no, it's not nothing. It's a promise to the bank that they will pay the bank, not the people, the bank.
Yeah.
Money that it will get from taxing its citizens. That's a government bond.
I like that. That was an expensive orgy.
Yes, this is the developer who was interviewed from FTX.
That's fucking
you should
right.
See with his laptop.
He just looks like Roger Hallam.
I know. He's bonkers.
What the fuck is he doing?
I don't know.
He's got a fag. He's got a laptop. He's nuts.
It has to be a Mac, of course.
Of course. I mean, I will never own Apple products. Well, I say that. I found a broken iPad, and that's how my wife got her Twitter blue. We found it in a drawer, and that's how my wife got her Twitter blue. True story.
Yeah. Riveting.
Right, we are into the final 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
So, what do we want to laugh about now. Come on. Come on, people.
Oh, now you've put us under pressure. Well, I'll tell you what movies are coming out? Wakanda Forever. What's all this about? Is this going to be like, is this like a fucking tribute to, what's his name?
Chadwick Boseman, and apparently...
Yeah, is it a tribute to Boseman?
Well, apparently, so from what I understand, when it comes to Wakanda Forever, the film was written before he died, right? So it was written with him in mind being the main character. So then they had to retcon it after he died. What I understand is the way that
hold on. They had to what on it?
Retcon.
Retcon.
Yes, change the story.
Retcon. What does that mean?
It means change.
Is this some sort of fucking millennial word?
Yeah, pretty much.
That I don't know about?
Pretty much.
Retcon.
Rewrite history, as whoever 11 says, is the best way to describe it.
Adam, could you check that for me?
I will.
Retcon?
Anyhow.
Or is this just something Ben's made up? Because this intrigues me. Because there may be words out there that I don't actually know about, and I consider myself a bit of a wordsmith.
The term was popularised by comics fandom, but that's not where it originated. The word was added to the dictionary in October 2021.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So it is in the dictionary. Retcon
which
has had a busy life. For such a young word, in the span of a few decades, it has managed to become an abbreviation, changed from a noun to a verb, and moved from the jargon-filled chat rooms of the internet to a general parlance.
Retcon. And which dictionary is this?
This is Merriam-Webster.
Right, okay. And what does it actually mean?
It's a shortened form of the retroactive continuity. It refers to a literary device in which the form or content of previously established narrative is changed.
There we go.
Well done, Benjamin. I mean, I've got to give you credit for that, sir. I mean, that's a good one, but for fuck's sake, people.
And I used it in the correct context.
Yeah, you did, but for fuck's sake, people, retcon?
Yeah, we go.
I mean, are we living in fucking Blade Runner? What's going on?
There we go.
I'm astounded. I want to go back to like the days of Agatha Christie and the Orient Express.
So anyway, they had to retcon the story in order to change it out, and they kept a lot of the major beats in, but changed it out.
Whoa, the major what?
Beats. Story beats.
Story beats. Is this a real word?
This is a real term, yes. Story beats.
I mean, beats to me were like something that happens in a tune. No. What's story beats? Is that
Adam?
Is that a proper expression?
I'll look that one up as well.
Adam.
Thank you, Adam. I can see your point in having an Adam.
What's a story beat?
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah?
There we go. Story beats, the key to line-by-line writing. What is a beat? Beats are the smallest unit of story that writers use to convey the details of an alternate world, even avatars and story events to their readers. A beat is a micro-interaction that must always have an input and usually has an output.
There we go.
That sounds good. I like that. And what's the source of that information, Adam?
This is storygrid.com, which is a website to help people write stories.
Okay, right. Okay, I'll let that one slide. Right, carry on, please.
I don't know if I want to.
Well, we do like to inform and educate, do we not?
Yeah, I guess so. So they've changed a lot of the story beats to basically memorialize him rather than have him as the star. Apparently, it's a 3 hour convoluted mess.
3.
Yeah.
3 hours?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's fucking Lord of the Rings territory.
Yeah, apparently it's a 3 hour convoluted mess, and there's barely. Apparently it manages to be racist to Mexicans. Apparently it manages to be racist to white people. And apparently.
Whoa, hold on! You can't be racist to white people.
And apparently it also, despite the fact it's pretty much an all-black cast, manages at times to ham up racist tropes and stereotypes about black people as well.
Yay! It hits the Holy Trinity, doesn't it? It's racist to everybody.
I mean, I've got a Cineworld Unlimited card, so I will go and see it. and we will
I'll be honest, I'll probably download it. I can't be bothered going to watch that shit
We
in the TV and the pictures.
So we will give you our honest thoughts and opinions on it on the other channel, right? And I think it's going to be a fiery one because from what I have seen so far, this thing looks fucking terrible. It really does.
As bad as the Eternals.
Apparently worse. Apparently it's worse.
Did you watch the Eternals?
I suffered the Eternals, yes.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
Did you enjoy it, Adam?
I just thought it was like big monsters fighting, so it was all right for a bit of mindless entertainment, but that was it really.
I watched the Eternals in a glorious cinema, mask free.
Yes, over in Sweden.
In Sweden.
But that was.
I mean, I enjoyed the experience more than the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say the experience of that must have been fantastic, but the movie itself.
I mean, the whole Swedish thing was just fucking fantastic. I love Sweden. I really do.
Yeah.
I think I may end up back there at some point.
Well,
in fact, we might end up with a studio there at some point.
In Sweden? I thought we was going to Florida.
Oh, we might. Well, hey, why stop at one?
International. I like your thinking. Sometimes we can do it from the sun, sometimes we can do it from the snow.
And of course, if we're in Sweden, we need to have snowmobiles.
That suits me.
We need to have outdoor saunas.
Jetpacks.
We need to have we need to have hot tubs and plunge pools.
But
in fact, we've got the lake because we'll be on the lake. We can just jump in the fucking lake.
Yeah, but John, as it stands, we don't make a fucking penny from doing what we do.
Think big.
Think big.
Think big.
Snowmobiles.
Think your way.
Snowmobiles. Snowmobiles. So, if you'd like to help, buy our snowmobiles, you can do so at patreon.com/chasing dissent or on Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/chasing dissent. These are donations, and those donations will go towards that.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, I mean, we would appreciate a much bigger audience. So the biggest thing you can do for us is subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and share. We cannot emphasize how much we need you to share these shows out on all of your social platforms, not just Twitter, but everywhere.
Just tell people how good we are, because we are good. I mean, we are good. Come on, you know that.
Yeah,
we're better. I mean, I watch people on YouTube all the time, and they're pretty shite, and I think I'm much better than them. I may be mistaken. If I am mistaken, feel free to tell me, right?
Yeah.
But I think we're quite funny generally, or quite raw and quite on it. I think we're generally a good watch. Oh fuck!
What?
Oh, what happened? I thought everyone was buffering there. Are we all right?
Yeah, we're fine.
All right. It was just the input to the.
Also, if you're not already, and unfortunately this message hasn't gone through to Twitch, so Adam, if you could copy and paste that would be...
Yes.
If you're not already, please subscribe to our Rumble channel, rumble.com/chasing dissent official. Now, this is our backup. We are streaming on there right now, so if you are watching, hello. I haven't been checking it. But this is our backup, and this is where we will always be live. So if the other tech companies want to fuck us, then we will always be there on the Rumble. So we would really, really appreciate a subscription over there if you have not subscribed already. If you have, we appreciate you, we love you, and thank you.
Fucking hell, my mind's getting blown here. What the fuck is going on?
What are you doing?
Well, my Mac has just popped up a screen that says, type a word to look up in the Oxford Dictionary of English.
Right.
But why has it done this? I didn't ask it to do it. I didn't touch any keys. It's just done it.
Have you just put a link directly to this video on Rumble?
Yes, I have.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So,
I noticed that. Well done, Adam.
Yeah, thank you.
I told you he was good, Ben.
He is good. He is good.
Getting better, aren't I?
He's good. You know what?
You've been really slick tonight. I've got to give you kudos, mate.
This man.
You are getting better.
This man has done so much for what we do and what I did before that. and he doesn't get enough kudos, to be honest, for everything he does put in. He is Adam. We love you.
Thank you, Ben.
Well, we couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do this without you. I couldn't have done any of this, any stuff I did without you. And you came to me and you were like, "Do you want some help?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I do. I do need some help." And you've been with me ever since. And thank you. Honestly, we love you.
Anytime.
Oh fucking hell! I'm going to have to start crying now.
Do you think, John? Do you think that that's where we?
Yeah, I think we better fucking wrap it up now, or you'll be giving each other some sort of virtual fucking ego stroking.
Right, and on that note, I'm going to start queuing up the outro. So, John,
Ben,
this is your time to shine. Once again,
time to shine.
Make sure they evangelize.
I'd like to say thank you. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. And I mean it. Thank you. You know who you are. You for coming along and watching us tonight. But more than that, go out there. Spread the word. Evangelize. Tell people. Spread our story. Make us famous so we can make you happy. And with that, I'd like to say thank you again for coming to this, an episode of Friday Night Live with Jason Dissent. It's been all in. You have been grateful and a great audience. Good night.
I'm just going to leave you all with that big screen and Adam. Good night.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me. And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience to talk. Good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system.
You forgot Uranus.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.